I'm back. And finally we can play video games together again! I've been very ill lately, I've been out for 3 months, but now I'm back! And I can do the episode which was scheduled to be done this summer! We're going to play Pokémon Go! Let's go outside! Shit! I forgot! I live in freaking Sweden! We got freaking polar bears out there! Do you see? Do you see out there? Yeah, that was my expression too, it's freaking polar bears out there! And what am I supposed to do? I got an idea! What a beautiful day! It's a perfect day for Pokémon Go! Hit the music! If we're going to sum up the summer of 2016, all you can say is Pokémon Go, and that's that, you'll get an A+. Everybody was excited for it, everybody downloaded it, and it crashed. You went out on a magical journey, and it crashed again. You caught a new Pokémon, and it crashed. It was like the biggest mobile phone game ever. Everybody played it. Because Pokémon. I usually dislike mobile phone games. I mean, it doesn't really feel like a game at all. You can't lean back and enjoy the ride, you know? This is actually my first ever mobile phone game. Except from Flappy Bird. What a game. And Snake! Even though I'm a console gamer to the core of my existence, and even though I feel a little treacherous against my consoles, I have to try this out, because Pokémon! As soon as you boot up the game, it reminds you to stay aware of your surroundings. With a picture of Gyarados watching over a trainer, ready to attack. Yeah, right. Like that would ever happen. Hello there, I am Professor Willow, #DILF. So right away you're hit with the hardest decision you'll ever make in your entire life. Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle. Or if you just don't give a crap, just walk away from the whole thing and then you can choose Pikachu instead. Pokémon Yellow reference. Where my 20th century kids at? Okay, now it's time to go and catch some Pokémon, so let's go! Oh, I forgot that we're playing Pokémon Go. We're not supposed to walk in the tall grass. Do you remember how we caught Pokémon in the Pokémon games? You had to weaken it. You had to be careful and smart. Maybe put it to sleep or paralyze it and then throw a Pokéball. It could take anything from 30 seconds up to 30 minutes. In Pokémon Go, however, you see the Pokéball and you feed the living shit out of it and then you throw a Pokéball and... Oh, so that's it? I didn't have to do anything! That was a complete joke in comparison to a real Pokémon game! I actually need a phone. So now it's time to just walk around some more and catch some more Pokémon. Because Pokémon! Okay, so now we caught some new Pokémon, we leveled up a bunch and... Wait a minute. Why am I doing this? What's my purpose? In the Pokémon games you had to catch and train your Pokémon in order to become stronger and advance in the game, in order to defeat gym leaders, in order to defeat Team Rocket, in order to get all the badges so you could go to the Elite Four and prove that you were the very best. You did it to prove to yourself that you could conquer the game. You did it because you couldn't let the game beat you, and most importantly, you did it to have fun. So tell me, What's my motivation in Pokemon Go? Where am I supposed to go in Pokemon Go? There are no quests or desires whatsoever. They just hand you the game without story and be like, catch some Pokemon. Because Pokemon. More like, Pokemon, where do I go? Or Pokemon, why am I doing this? Or Pokemon, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and buy some milk. Well, okay, I guess we're going on no fuel here, but let's try to play the game. So now we're level 5 and we get to choose which team we want to join. The thing is that it doesn't even matter what team you choose. Nothing really changes. You just pick a color which has some backstory that is completely meaningless to the plot of the game. So, you pick your team, and now your purpose for the rest of the game is to color all the gyms in the world with your team's color. So, I don't really matter? I mean, the rest of the world who's on my team can take over the gyms without me? The game can go on without me? So I don't have any purpose whatsoever to go around catching Pokemon, nor do I have any purpose to get involved in the story this game has to offer? Well, I guess we're going to continue playing this game either way because Pokemon. When you beat a gym, you get experience points, and you can also store one of your very own Pokemon at the gym so you can show the town you live in just how damn sexy you are. Then someone from another team knocks you down after just 5 minutes of glory and your life is back to what it was before. And to claim the spot again, you have to fight the one who knocked you down. What's the meaning? I can do this forever and never get anywhere. This isn't progress. And I got no motivation to get it back either. It's like, whatever man, keep your stupid lookout, I'm off feeding my Pokemon fat. Also, look at this. This is how you challenge a gym in the Pokemon games. Once again, you had to be smart, you had to have a strategy. Everything you learned in the game so far came down to the gym battles. To knock the toughest Pokemon out, you had to put your head into weaknesses, items, and stats. You became a passionate nerd for the game. Fighting a gym in Pokemon Go, however, well, it looks a little more like this. Die! So you go around these so-called Pokestops and collect items. The Pokestops are actually real-life locations. I have a feeling that we will look back after a couple of years and be like, oh, that place was a Pokestop back when we played Pokemon Go. The Pokestops are everywhere. Not only do they help you to increase in level, but you could also lay a lure and attract some Pokemon there. But here's where the major downfall of Pokemon Go begins. If you live on the countryside, you are f***ed. Literally f***ed. Because there are no Pokestops, no gyms, and sometimes not even Pokemon. If you live in the city, however, you level up fast and you'll be able to catch all the different types of Pokemon. Which means that the people on the countryside stands no chance in hell against those who live in the city. That's game breaking, because then the game's not for everybody. Okay, look at this. Just compare to where I study at university. It's the second largest city in my country. One Pokestop every 30 seconds. This is where I live. I got one Pokestop. One. That's bullshit. Pure bullshit. I mean, I have to move to the city if I want to be a Pokemon master? Gosh dang. And do you want to know the most stupidest thing ever? When Pokemon Go got released, and I don't even care if they added it now 6 months later after the game was released, because that just adds to my point. When Pokemon Go was released, you couldn't trade Pokemon with each other. The mechanic that made the Pokemon games absolutely genius in the first place is nowhere to be seen in Pokemon Go. Are you tickling me right now? What can you do with your Pokemon in Pokemon Go? Oh, I don't know. Give them funny names. And look at them. I mean, sure, you can fight with them, but this is not how you do it. Once again, you play Pokemon Go just because it's Pokemon. Shit. But one of the best things with Pokemon Go are the Pokemon eggs. You just walk around and hatch a random Pokemon. But how did those eggs come to existence in the first place, you ask? Well, my dear audience, sometimes another Pokemon loves another Pokemon. And then they f***. Yeah. Here I have a 2-kilometer egg, so let's walk 2 kilometers and see what Pokemon it hatches to. Ooh, I wonder what it will be. Maybe it's gonna be a Charmander. Maybe it's gonna be a Pikachu. Or maybe it's gonna be a ever wanted. All I ever needed was a Pikachu. Pikachu's are very unnecessary. They are common everywhere. So that is what you do in Pokemon Go. You catch Pokemon, hatch eggs, challenge gyms, level up, and travel around. And it's popular among all ages. And the kids love it. They really, really love it. The same intensity about the Pokemon franchise which we experienced in the 90s has been reborn. It has been passed on to newer generations. It's a sign that Pokemon will live on for many more years to come. However, this is not how a Pokemon game should be experienced. Heck, this is not even how a video game should be experienced. Now, my intentions are not to steal some of the happiness that people have got from playing Pokemon Go. I mean, there are so many beautiful stories out there about people winning over their social anxiety thanks to Pokemon Go. There's also incredible stories about overweight people finding a way to lose weight thanks to Pokemon Go. That's amazing what one game can do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having social anxiety or being a bigger person. You are allowed to feel what you feel and be the way you want to be. At least on this channel. Can't guarantee that the society works the same way, but society is stupid. But yeah, Pokemon Go is great and it's genius. However, it doesn't have any of the elements which made the Pokemon games great in the first place. You can't train your Pokemon, you can only feed them. And that takes away the bond between you and your Pokemon. You don't really care the same way as you did when you played the other Pokemon games. You don't actually have any motivation to progress in Pokemon Go. The only thing that makes you progress is because it's Pokemon. No real story, no feeling of progression, it's because it's Pokemon. The worst thing about Pokemon Go, however, is that you probably, sooner or later, forever or never, are going to compare yourself with other players playing Pokemon Go. The point I want to talk about is that you, sooner or later, are probably going to compare your level to another player. A player who has a way higher level than yours. The level counter can actually be metaphorically seen as the amount of followers you have on social media. And on social media, we compare all the freaking time. For example, you have 50 followers, and then you scroll around and you see someone who has 1,000 followers. Wow! Shit! I will never get that many followers. And then you scroll around some more, and then you see someone who has 30 followers. And then you go, wow, I have more followers than that person. Awesome! And then it goes on and on. I can't really put the feeling into words, but I think it has something to do with the word confirmation. We want confirmation that we actually matter. We want confirmation from other people. And nowadays, in order to do that, we compare ourselves with numbers. Whether if it's height, weight, levels, cash, followers, anything with numbers. Because we can count. Psychology. Another thing I haven't mentioned is that you can buy items for real life cash. Want to increase in levels faster? Then all you need to do is open your wallet and pay. Buying items in Pokemon Go are basically the same thing as buying followers or likes on social media. It may sound weird, but when you think about it, it's pretty darn close. That's why I'm so upset. But the absolute best example of this statement is that Pokemon Go doesn't really feel like your adventure. When you play the Pokemon game, it was your adventure. You didn't have to compare to anyone else but you. It was your progress that meant something. You grew stronger. You climbed to the top. It was your adventure. In Pokemon Go, it's everyone's adventure. Everyone is trying to push each other down to be the king of the hill. They do it in the purpose of confirmation. In the Pokemon games, you didn't have to hunt for confirmation. And it didn't matter which level your Pokemon were, no matter how long it took for you to beat gym leaders or anything, it was all about your progression, your adventure. In Pokemon Go, you could get the slight feeling that you don't matter at all. You could log into Pokémon Go just after a couple of days being away from it, and then you could realize that the game went on without you. It didn't matter if you were there or not. The game played itself without you. The game doesn't need you. That's why I feel that Pokémon Go is more like social media than an actual game. That's not how video games are supposed to work. Video games are all about provoking the feeling that you are important. Video games are for making you feel that you actually matter. Which you do. Always. You know how every Mario or Zelda game always tells you, "Wahoo! Thanks for playing. We couldn't have done this without you." And it's goddamn true. If you hadn't played the game, who would have saved the day? Right? With video games, we can all be heroes. If you had a really bad day, video games can remind you that you actually matter and that you can accomplish anything. You are someone and you're needed. Your adventure always matters. I'm sorry for the long speech out of my perspective, but here's the conclusion. Pokémon Go may not even be a game, but it's an experience. And it's an experience best served if you don't compare to anyone else. Cozy hugs and greetings to you. Thank you for watching. Do you want more? Well, it just so happens to be that if you click here, there will be more episodes like this one. There's an adventurous Pokémon Nuzlocke challenge here. And do you want to just play some games with me? Then click here. Click on the blue banana to subscribe. I'm Hampsche. I hope I made your day a little brighter. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Happy New Year!